Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the channel. I've been playing around a lot with what's going on with Twitch and some of the new additions and changes that I can make to it. One of the things that's coming, I don't think that it's publicly available yet, is that you can create a channel trailer. And so I started making one this morning. I don't know that I love it, but I made a trailer for this channel and kind of shows a couple of the highlights of what we do here. There's some Bob Ross. There's me celebrating the day that we got the Lego Mindstorm to talk with Alexa to change the lamp behind me. Kevin Evans, thank you for being here, man. It's awesome to see you again. So this is an interesting time. I'm like building the promotional parts of this channel are always new and interesting. Another thing I want to do is Trey Last is here. It's always good to see. We'll throw some music on. How's the music level there? Is that okay? Come back up to like here. See how that goes. Let me know if that's too loud. We can back it off if we need to. So what else is going on? There's a couple of things. One of the big ones for me, and I think most of you come to Alexa office hours, which we had yesterday. It's every Tuesday from not hearing much music at all, huh? Let's see if we can turn that up. What if I do like that? Is that louder? Feels like I can hear it. Okay, yeah, I hear some music. So we'll leave it at that level, and if it's too loud, let me know, because it's just a random playlist from a cool service called Pretzel. So yeah, so the other thing I was talking about was office hours. It's a little too loud. I don't want to be too loud. I just want some ambient, kind of fun, upbeat music in the background. That's all I'm going for. Now it seems like it's gone. What is going on? We'll go with that. See how that works. But keep me posted if, because song by song it might vary a little too. So for those of you that tune in for office hours on Tuesdays at noon on the Amazon Alexa channel, one of the things that I've really been struggling with is how do I answer questions after the session is over? And I know we've talked, good morning W. Giorgio, I know we've talked about this before, about maybe building a wiki or a web page or something, but one of the things that I thought about doing was actually creating quick video clips, 60-second video clips that answer the questions that are asked during office hours. And so I created one, and here I'll see if I can grab this really quick. If I go to my Twitch channel. And you guys can find this too, but I'll send you a link to it so you can find it directly. But in the clips section of my channel, I just made one this morning. Let's see if I can just get the link to it. That. And the thing that I really want to see, the thing that I really want to do here is to post this video and get a thought from all of you as to whether or not you think things like this are valuable. So this is a real question that was captured during the office hours. This isn't one from yesterday. This is one from July, I think. But I have a whole giant pile of questions that have been asked, and I think it would be really good to make sure that we're following up on this stuff. Yeah, I'd like to know if you guys like this background music too. So Oxygen Box, thanks. Let me know. If you guys don't like it, I can't hear it very well because I don't like wearing headphones. But I think having a little beat in the background is good, especially if you're sitting there working. It's nice to have something to focus in on. So please share your opinions on that. But I'd also like your thoughts on these channels, or on these clips that I can make. And so they take about 60 seconds. Oh, Kevin, great question. So there's another Twitch channel called Amazon Alexa. So I'm Jeff Blankenburg. That one is at Amazon Alexa. And we do Alexa office hours every Tuesday at noon on that channel. And so I'm almost always the host there, but we have those office hours. We also have them, I think, at 7 p.m. Eastern on the same day. We just started those this week. The music is irritating. I'll just turn it down. It really doesn't need to be that loud. I just kind of wanted something in the background. And that is good to know, Oxygen Box. I appreciate your feedback. So one of the things that I have found with the office hours is that people come with questions, and I don't have a way, if I don't know the answer off the top of my head, which certainly happens sometimes, and showing how to solve that in like 60 seconds. Now, it's not a full explanation. It's not going to be a full tutorial. The way Twitch works is I can't upload videos that are longer than 60 seconds. And so Treylas thinks that another clip would be to show some of my patterns or snippets or utility functions in 60 seconds. That's pretty cool too. Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea. That might be other stuff to throw up there. It's just like, hey, here's how I do this thing, or hey, here's how I solve this problem. I think that could be useful. Oxygen Box, is it still irritating? Is it still too loud? I don't think that I hear your volume. Do you just mean music in general? You'd rather just have the silence in my voice? I find the music hides any white noise I may have going on or any background sounds that happen. But I feel like I can talk over it still pretty well. So I'm always curious to know what you guys think. Let me see what I hear here. I'm always curious to know what you guys think. Let me see what I hear here. Yeah. That's still maybe a little loud for my taste. So Treylas likes the video clips. I'm thinking about doing this regularly. Like, I'll just spend Tuesday afternoons after office hours making some 1-minute videos. It's tricky. I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time just creating the one that I did, but I had to create the framework, and like I have a video intro and all the other stuff that goes with it. So that's all built now. I think they'll probably all look very similar. I'll just change out the title on the loading screen. And then I literally got 60 seconds to explain a concept, and it took me about 4 tries before I actually got it under a minute. So this is all really valuable feedback for me, guys. So I'm gonna spend some time thinking about like my coding patterns for Alexa and the way that I do things, and I'll try to create some short videos of that stuff as well. Now, they won't be live because I'll probably need multiple takes, and they require some editing and stuff like that. But we'll get to that point, I think, where I'm uploading a bunch of other snippets and stuff. And so that's good to hear that you guys like those short videos. Again, it's not super informative. Dev, thank you for the follow, man. Much appreciated. I just realized I got rid of the lower third here. Let's see if we can turn that back on, maybe. There we go. That and that. There we go. Okay, so Treylas says he yoinked the get resolved words function and the get spoken words function the other day from my code. That's awesome. Please do that. I think that's super cool. Oh, I've turned on too much. I'll have to check out what Dabble Labs is doing too. That's pretty awesome. If I get rid of this and I get rid of this, there we go. That looks better. So, okay, this is great, guys. It's good for me to know what you guys want from this, because otherwise it's just me showing up and writing code and doing the stuff that I want to do. But sometimes there are moments of what I do that you guys really like, and I'd rather focus more on that kind of stuff, what's useful and interesting to you. So I'll check out Dabble Lab stuff and see what they're doing. I don't think I'm getting their emails, but that might be pretty handy to do that. Would it make sense, Treylas? What do you think about this? Would it make sense for me to also whoa, I almost fell over. To send to create an email list, to have like a subscriber list where you guys can sign up, and then I'll send a link out to the videos, maybe with some links as I make them. Is that something you guys would sign up for? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time, but it's always interesting to know what you guys think. Dev would sign up for that. All right. Cool. This is good feedback. Okay, so I'm playing around. Like I said, I made a trailer. I am starting to make some new clips I found out that I can put 1-minute clips up there and they live forever. So that's pretty cool. And then I think I'll start creating collections and stuff like that. Actually, let's look at that really quick. So if I go to my channel here, we'll flip over to so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So this is my channel. And if I come into clips, I think there's a manage clips button on this page for me. Yeah, manage clips is what I'm looking for. And this takes me to a page where I think I can create like collections. No. Somewhere I thought there was, yeah, there's collections. And I would call one like Alexa office hours. That's really small. And create that collection, and then I need to add videos to this. Questions from viewers of the Alexa office hours on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern on Amazon Alexa. Save that. Add some videos, and I'm assuming that I can choose clips like this. Yeah, awesome. So now there's like a collection. I'll have to come up with a thumbnail for this that's like Alexa office hours or whatever. But now I think if I come back to my channel, do we have a place that we see collections? Feature collections. What does that mean? Oh yeah, this is totally awesome. Add section, Alexa off. What did we just do? Oh, nice. Now can I customize that layout? Can I bring that Alexa office hours section like up? Oh yeah, I see the grabbers. Okay. So if I bring this Alexa office hours up. Nice. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So now I could create collections that are like best practices or code snippets or something like that. I hate the word best practice because I don't know that what I'm doing is the best, but it works for me. But for this Alexa office hours collection, now I could just throw these in here as I create them. Oh, this is going to be sweet. Okay, so expect more of that stuff because it's not that hard to throw together a 1-minute video. What's hard is getting it right and getting it concise enough. So I will work on those. And what's really awesome about this is if we look at my machine here, if we go to my OneDrive, and I have all sorts of nonsense on here, Amazon, Docs, office hours. These are all files that I have from doing office hours. So like this is the one from yesterday. And I have all the questions right in here. So it should be easy enough for me to just go in and say, oh, okay, fixed, or like, here's how you solve this one, here's how you do this thing. So I have lots and lots of content to pull from. That's always one of the big challenges. So I think I'm gonna start working through that. I think that'll be pretty awesome. Okay, so we've done enough talking today. I'd love to do some coding. So let's look at our file. And we were falling apart a little bit as we were ending on Monday. And the thing that we were doing is, let's see, this is the yes, no. In here, we wanted to give the user their hint. And then I think at that point we were going to send them to the next puzzle, or send them to the puzzle again. And it just wasn't working. So I don't remember what the issue we were having was. So I think the best bet for us right now is let's go to the dev console and take a look at what might be going on with our scavenger hunt. I also need to open up a Airtable. scavenger hunt for our data. Thank you, Kevin. Let's make sure that our game is set to the right date. I think we did this last time, April 25th. Yeah, that's all good. Do user puzzle. I don't have any records in there. I have my user. We were buying hints and using them. So let's set this to 30 so it's a nice round number. This. And keep going from there. So let's now see what happens when I say test this skill. And we'll say open scavenger hunt. I feel like my eyes don't want to cooperate with me today. So I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. What is your answer? And I say hint. It should say, do you want to use a hint? You have 30 available. That's perfect. You can only use one per game. Are you sure you want to use a hint now? And I say yes. Did we establish what happens when I say no? Did we even do that yet? If I say no... Okay, I've saved your hint for later. I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck. What is your answer? That's great. So now I'm going to say hint. You currently have 30 hints available. You can only use one per game. Are you sure you want to use a hint now? Yes. Here is your hint. Undefined. I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. So undefined didn't come through, and I think this is where we left off. So in my puzzle, I have a hint value, which should be this. We are looking for the last three names of Joe Exotic, or something like that. So what am I doing in my code? Here's your next hint. Session attributes, game 0 hint. So what was that value? What did we... Well, let's go look at our logs and see. See if we wrote that down. This is the nice thing about doing heavy logging, is that I don't have to then go in and like create logging. I have the entire request object as it came in with all of my session variables and everything, so it should be there. I should be able to see what that hint is and why we didn't get it. So if we come into my skill here, and we look at this, we wanted to... That was my hint count. I said... So this request envelope should have my game. Yeah, please feel free to steal from me. I'm all about it. And I see that hint isn't coming through. I think this is probably because I'm not telling it to grab that field. And I think this is where we left off last time. So where we get the game data is in the puzzle function, I think. Is that right? Give next puzzle. And I say session attributes.game equals response.records right here. So it's this filter, this long filter where I indicate the fields that I want. And I have ampersand fields and then the name of a field. So I think I just need to do this and change this to hint. Now this still won't bring me anything back if it didn't exist, but it should allow me to get the hint if it does exist. So let's push that and see if we're getting our hint now, because we should actually see the response. And the way that I'm crafting this, I'm going to say, okay, I used your hint. Here's the puzzle again, right? I'm gonna tack that on to the puzzle. So, hey, this is the thing I'm looking for. Hey, I just sent you a text message. We also really need to revisit why in the world it isn't sending the text messages. I don't understand how, like, I have so many issues with SNS where it just stops working, and I don't really know why. Okay. So let's come back here and Let's say hint again. I haven't built the logic to like, oh, you've already used a hint. I don't think I've already done that yet. You currently have 29 hints. Are you sure you want to use a hint now? Yes. Here's your hint, undefined. Let's quit just to make sure, because I pull that stuff into session, and then I don't necessarily need it again. No, that shouldn't matter. Those are just naming conventions that I use trade last, and I'm not consistent enough to make it matter. So I open the scavenger hunt. It says, here's your puzzle. Cool. And then I say hint. You have 28 hints left. And then I say yes. Undefined. Cool. Just how I wanted it to go. So in this case, let's look at the 1021 log and see what I'm doing wrong. My request envelope here, fields, media, hint is right there. So it definitely is in there, but I think it needs to be fields. So now it's just a bad reference to the thing. And so if I go to my yes, no intent handler, where we handle this, in here, this is where we're going to say session game fields dot hint. Okay, now it should work. Now that I'm done I'm working too fast and not thinking through what is really happening here. So we'll push some code up there. In the meantime, I can get back to my browser. We'll do this. Open scavenger hunt. Hint. Yes. Here's your hint, and it looks like I've got some formatting there. Here's your hint. We are looking for the 3 last names of Joe Exotic. I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck. What is your answer? Okay, I can live with all that. I can't live with the here is your hint being tacked on like that. So here is your hint. Oh, but it's not because I put a break in here. So it's just a formatting thing that no one's going to see but me. Okay, so I do put a nice break in there. Let's hear how that sounds. So if I say hint.
You currently have 26 hints of... Here's your hint. We are looking for the 3 last names of Joe Exotic. I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck. What is your answer?
Okay, so I'm not going to have basic boring things like I've sent you a text message. That was just something that I threw into my data just to have something there. I see. Yeah, the filters I have worked... am I using account link to store the user's number to text? Adev, no, I am not. I'll explain how I'm doing that in a minute, but I want to talk to W. Giorgio first about the HTTP stuff. So the filters are very, very tricky. The way that I got through building out all these filters and understanding, and for you to understand how I'm doing them, what I did is I went to Airtable, CodePen. There's this fantastic tool right here that allows you to build out a URL that adds the filters on. So I could say and then in here I might say date is greater than now, or something like this, right? And it shows me what the filter by formula will look like with all the characters, escaped for URLs and stuff like that. But the big thing is this formula. And so this link, this is on the Airtable support page. I'll drop this in the chat. Is that is the formula field reference. And so using a combination of that with a combination of this CodePen, this is how I was able to write my own formulas and have it work accurately. So let me drop this in the chat also. And that is how I manage, and hopefully that helps you, W. Giorgio. For odd-dev, no, I can give you a quick demo through the skill just to kind of show how this works. But as we've been building this, if you were to start at this entire series, which we're now like episode 15 or something, for building this scavenger hunt. And one of the things that I needed to do was figure out how to get a user's phone number. It's something that I really struggled with. And so what I ended up doing was using the customer profile API. That was where we started. You can see that I even have some of that remnant still here where I have these permissions. This was how I was asking for their profile name, email, and mobile number. But it requires the user to go to the app and grant you those permissions before you get that data. And I feel like that's a huge frictional hurdle when all I really need is their phone number. So after working through a number of different mechanisms to figure this out, what we settled on was just asking the user for their phone number directly. And so the way this skill works, if I come back into my database and I look at user, I'll get rid of these three values. I have mobile number, these three, I'll just get rid of that data. So it's going to treat me now like I'm a brand new user. And so if I come into the skill and I say, well, let's quit it and I'll start at the beginning again, as a user would. So I say open scavenger hunt, but I've never given you my phone number before. The skill says, oh, hey, welcome. This is one of the toughest puzzles you'll ever encounter. Before we can play the game, I need to make sure I have your mobile phone number. Sometimes we need to send you clues as a text message. What is your full mobile phone number? And then I can say 614-327-5066, like this. And this is how a user would speak. And I say that, and it says, okay, cool, I got your phone number. I just sent you a 4-digit PIN to validate your mobile phone number. What is that PIN? And for whatever reason, my text messages are not being sent. We should probably look at that. It's starting to really bother me, and it's a core function of the skill. But you can see that I have I've now gathered in my intent request the user's phone number. So I have the actual value that they gave me, and I'm able to use that. But what I also did was send them a PIN. So I generated a 4-digit number. In this case, it was 3351. And I asked them what that PIN is. And every time they come back to the skill, I'm going to say, hey, what's your 4-digit PIN? And so I can say 3351. And now you can see in my database that it's updated and I've been validated. So now I've proved that I own the phone number that I provided. And now it says, okay, I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck. What is this undefined? Let's take a look at the validation function just to see what might be going on there. So if the PIN matched, give next puzzle. Am I just always assuming the pre-speech will be something? I mean, that's fine. I probably should send something. Your phone number has been validated. Thanks. We'll just do your phone number has been validated. So that now when they validate their PIN, I will say your phone number has been validated and then tell them what their first puzzle is. So that works. We should really... I keep going down this rat hole of trying to figure out why my text messages aren't sending, but ultimately I have no idea what I'm doing because it looks like there's some custom logging and stuff that I need to do that isn't working or that I'm not doing properly. So let's make a note for myself. Get all this stuff out of here. I was making my trailer for my video, and I have like my drone and microcontrollers and all sorts of stuff sitting on my desk right now. So let's... I need to make a note for myself to do outside of this skill. Figure out how to debug SNS. Okay. That is something I'm going to work on today so that we can actually get that stuff working in the future. And so, Adev, don't feel like you have to go back and watch this entire series. I mean, there's hours and hours of this. We've been doing this for 3 weeks now, so maybe 4 weeks. I don't know. That's a lot of content to parse through. So if you ever have a question, don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to stop and share. That's one of my favorite parts of doing these streams. So don't feel like in any way you are obligated to go back and watch all the old content just to answer a question for yourself. All right. So we are now in a position where our hints work. One of the things that we didn't set up last time, though, is the ability to buy hints. And I think we're going to sell them one at a time for, I don't know, I originally said like $1.99. That seems a little aggressive. Maybe it should be just $1. I think the least I can charge is 99 cents. So maybe I just charge 99 cents. I could also, I know that I've talked about having a subscription. And we built that ISP as well. Yeah, ISP is an in-skill purchase if you haven't heard that term before. But doing it for 99 cents seems okay. And then I think I could also do the subscription where you basically just get a free hint every week. But they don't accumulate. You would just have one to use, because you can only use one hint per game, which is a set of 5 puzzles. So for 99 cents, I would allow you to buy a hint, and you could use it that week. But if you have the subscription, which is like $4.99 a month, that lets you have the free hint every week, which is basically a $4 a month value. Plus, you would have the ability to go back and play old games that have happened previously. Now, we haven't figured or done any of that stuff yet, but I think I want to at least build out the spend 99 cents mechanism. So let's do that. Let's figure out how to do that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have some kind of like buy product intent. So let's create a new intent that is, I'll just call it the buy intent. This is where the user actually says, buy a hint, get a hint, give me a hint. Nope, this isn't what I want to do. I don't want this intent. Because I have this hint intent, give me a hint, use a hint, get a hint. I could probably do this stuff in here as well, which is just adding some more things like buy a hint. We'll save that for now. We can always expand our utterances, but at least I have buy a hint as an option. And then in our index, we have a hint intent handler. And this is where we built out some pseudocode here. If the user has a hint available, ask them if they're sure if they want to use it. And we're kind of doing that now. If the user does, the first thing we need to do is check their hint count. So we are already getting that value. I like that I've done a lot of this work previously. So we're going to say if hint count is greater than 0, and we'll just wrap that. But we should also say we can also check to see if they have the subscription. Okay. We can also check to see if they have the subscription. So if their hint count is greater than 0, that's all we care about for now. Then we can say var speak output here equals nothing. But here, if they have a hint available, we will say that thing. You currently have 6 hints available. Are you sure? We always want to validate that, because I don't want to accidentally say hint and use up their hint when they didn't want to or whatever. If they don't have a hint, this is where we will upsell them. So instead what we're going to do is say else And we're going to need a third condition, which is if they already used a hint this game, do not let them use another hint. WK Wyatt, thanks for being here. Happy hump day to you. Thank you for joining us today. We're just in the process of building out the purchase path of buying an ISP, an in-skill purchase in our skill. So this is basically how we sell stuff to our user. So in this case, I have once we know if they've used a hint, we don't actually know that yet. I think in my data, I don't even have a way to know that. I think that in the user puzzle, I have hint used because I would know they used a hint on that puzzle. But this does feel very, very messy. It feels like I need a user game table that really only cares about whether or not they used a hint. I haven't figured out how I want to handle that logic yet. That's just why we haven't done it. So I'm just saying for now, if they've used a hint this game, don't let them use another hint. I've got that recorded there. We will come back and revisit it. Before we ever publish this skill, I will clear all the to-dos. So when I write one of those, that my intention is to go back and fix it. Like this one, we also have to check and see if they have a subscription. We haven't even started the selling of a subscription yet. But once we have the subscription, if they have it, they should be able to use their hint. And we will still need to make sure that they haven't used a hint for this game. Okay. So with that being said, we need to do right here, which is selling an ISP. So we need to upsell the user. We're going to send a different, completely different response builder directive. And to do this, I'm going to go grab a file that I had open recently, which was the TKO trivia skill. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I've already written a lot of this code. And it's easier just to find it. Yeah, here we go. So this is an upsell. This is where I say, hey, I have a product. Do you want to buy it? W. Giorgio asks, do you know if you can update ISPs with different content? Give me more specifics about what you mean by that, because probably. But I'd be interested to know what you mean by update ISPs with different content. Give me more specifics. So I'm going to take this chunk because this is the thing that I really need. No, I need more than that. I need to go all the way up here to this return. And I also need this. So I need this whole chunk. So let's come down to this. And I'll explain this line by line to kind of show what we're doing here. So in this chunk of code that we just wrote, the first thing that I do is call out and get the monetization service client. The next thing that I need to do is get in-skill products that are available from the user's locale. So this is where having my locale as a value would have been very helpful. I thought I pulled that in almost every function that I have, but I see that it's not here. So let's come up to locale and just grab this. And we'll come back down to our hint intent handler. And this is where we actually need to have locale available to us. So we're going to return a call to this monetization service client. We're going to call a function called get in skill products. It's only going to bring back a list of products for those products in a specific locale. And then we're going to go and we're going to grab the subscription, which we don't know yet, but we know that its reference name, if we come look at our subscription, the reference name is subscription. So I will just copy that here. And then as far as hint goes, the reference name of that one I'm pretty sure is hint. So I have now grabbed const. No, but I don't really care about the hint. Oh yeah, because I'm trying to sell them the product. So This will be, well, let's just call this hint. Why would I call it anything else? Hint. And this gets me my hint value. Then the next thing I do is check and say, are they already entitled to these things? So these are functions that I wrote, but we can go find them. They're very, very simple, but they basically check and make sure that the user is entitled to those products. So we'll take is product and is entitled and copy those over here. We'll just put them right beneath what we're doing for now. And those are both good. So now, now I just need to see, are they entitled? Well, I don't even care if they're entitled to the hint, because they can't be. How do I want to do this? Because I'm not really offering them the subscription right now. And you can buy as many consumables if you want. This is an interesting question, W. Giorgio. If you wanted to sell many different types of scavenger hunts, a Disney, a Funko, a movies, a music one, they can buy those as a package as a one-time purchase. So if you come up with more ideas, then update the ISP. Well, what you would really do is create a second or third or fifth ISP. So I have a subscription file that is a subscription. You can only have one subscription in your skill, I think. For consumables, I can have as many as I want. For entitlements, I can have as many as I want. So if I started out building only like a Funko scavenger hunt, I would have an entitlement that is the Funko scavenger hunt. And then later, if I add a Disney one that's available for people to buy, I would just add a new one-time purchase, an entitlement called Disney scavenger hunt, or whatever I want to call it, and offer that as a new product. And then I would have to, people could buy those individually. What you can't do is take things away from people. So you can't say, here's a one-time purchase that gives you all 4 games, and then later come back and say, oh, actually you only own this one game and you're going to have to buy these other 3 that you previously had access to. You won't be allowed to do things like that. But if you're just adding new products in the future, no problem at all. Very, very easy to do, and definitely allowed. You won't have any problems with certification or anything. So I don't think I need this at all, because all I'm doing is selling them a hint. So I'm going to get rid of this if statement. I want to make sure that I get rid of the piece below it too, which is all of this. Down here then, we're going to have our upsell message, and this is going to be, I don't think I want this at all. Upsell message. This is when I was building a bunch of stuff with a bunch of categories. I don't think I really need that. So we're going to take upsell message, and we're just going to say, it looks like you don't have, I'll just say you currently have 0 hints. 0 hints available. Would you like to get one? How do I want to do this? What if I just say that? Upsell message. I think JSLint looks specifically for that that comment trade last. To do is a pretty common practice for a lot of people, and so I think JSLint looks specifically for that. That would be my guess. I don't use JSLint very often, but that's my feeling on what you're encountering there. So I'm going to say you currently have 0 hints available, and then it's going to use the content from my hint, which should be the purchase prompt description. And this is where I will say, like, you can use 1 hint per game, Um, do you have a comment also in your thing? So where you have to do you also have like an actual comment after that? Just curious if that's something you're doing or not. But I'm just going to leave this where it says to do replace this text just so we can hear it in context, and we can write a statement that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's there. I'm not familiar enough with JSLint, but I would guess if we take a look. There we go. Piece of Pizza, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the show, and please join us in the chat if you can. Always good to have new folks joining us. BFG 100. Man, it's nice to have a few new followers. We're steadily heading our way to 500. For those of you that don't know, we are trying to reach 500 viewers or 500 followers. And if that happens, then I will be wearing a X-Wing pilot's helmet for an entire episode. That was something that was decided on Monday. Yeah, so this is a perfect example of that, where it's saying, oh, you have a to-do in there that you're probably not done. That's a great example of how I use to-do as well. If there are still to-dos, then I probably am not done. But this is just a common convention that a lot of people use, and it's nice to see that JSLint is just warning you that, like, hey, by the way, you might not actually be done with your code like you think you are. Trade last, I'm with you, man. I'm 98. I have so many projects that are 98% done, and then we just never finish them for whatever number of reasons. All right, so we have currently 0 hints available. I'm going to put a space here. That's my upsell message. I want this to be hint.product ID. I want to make sure I didn't mess that up anywhere else. Hint.product ID. All of that looks good. So now we should be able to do, if my hint count is 0, it should try to sell me a product. That's what I think will happen. So let's see what it does. All of that looks good. I gotta turn off. Apparently, I'm streaming on my own machine here. We'll go to my user record and we will change it to 0, so that I have 0 hints available. The code has been pushed almost, but the thing that we're missing, well, it doesn't really matter. I updated the model and I added this by a hint. We won't be able to use that because I didn't deploy this, but if I say hint, if I have 0 hints, it should kick me into that condition anyway because it's all the same intent. So let's give that a try. So let's quit our skill and open. Oh, that errored out. That's not good. I broke something. That's always new and fun. I like breaking things. It's in my bio. So it's always that. So in here, I always forget to make my handlers async. I don't know, like that should just be the default for me. I don't know why I continue to run into this. It's because I use help as the... I mean, it doesn't hurt me to call it async, even if I don't do anything async in there. So let's do that again. And I'll push just the Lambda again. I don't want to wait for the build of my interaction model. We'll get to that eventually. But this does mean that once we give this a run, I can quit my skill again. Over here. Excuse me. Let's crack open a water bottle. My allergies are really starting to act up. I think it's finally that time of year. Okay, my code has been pushed. So we'll do open scavenger hunt. This should work this time. Great, and it does.
I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck. What is your answer?
And I'm going to say hint.
currently have 0 hints available.
Trade last, thank you. Best of forgetting asynced. That would be a great reel. You currently have 0 hints available. Where's the rest of it? Here's my upsell message. Connections that send request upsell. What happened in the logs? How did we send that response without also selling a product? It's certainly. Oh, I wonder if I just can't do that in the console. Let's try it here. Alexa, open scavenger hunt.
I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle.
Alexa,
Good luck.
hint.
You currently have 0 hints available.
I'm sorry. What? Alexa, stop. Okay.
Goodbye.
So that's fun. I must have something I'm doing wrong. Skill upsell was declined. But I never heard the upsell. I don't understand. This is just supposed to work. So I send this response, which is just this simple little connections.send request. And then the request envelope. What? Let's go back and look at this. I have my upsell message. The product ID is coming through, right? If we look at the previous one. The product ID is coming through. This is my upsell message. You currently have 0 hints available. Let's try. I guess let's try updating my hint.json. Change this. You can use 1 hint per weekly game. Would you like to buy one? Okay, we'll just push everything this time. And hopefully this will just work. It's weird. I spent so much time in ISP world a year and a half ago. How quickly, like, the little nuance of something you were so deep into can just elude you. And things change too. I mean, Alexa moves so fast. Sometimes things just change. Maybe I shouldn't be using old code, but instead I should be looking at the docs and making sure that I have the most recent. All right, this is going to take just a minute. We'll wait for my model to push. We'll wait for my in-skill purchase to push back up. I'm going to bring my stool back into the game. I wonder what I could be doing wrong. I've never seen something like that happen where it responded, but it never gave me the prompt. And then for some reason it thought I was declining the purchase, which I never even got an opportunity to hear. Okay, we're updating the Lambda now, so we got through the model, and then we got to update the in-skill products, which is just going to be that one description. Oh, we have an error. Are you kidding me? This is one of those bugs that I have talked to them about, but we have not figured out or solved somehow. When you put an S3, so I have a small icon URI, a large icon, and when you have these, you provide an S3 bucket URL, and you put it in here. But when your ISP gets ingested, they actually go out and they grab that image and they store it locally on their servers. And they then use the URL of the image on their servers. The problem with this is that they add all of this stuff onto it. I wonder if I can back this off. No, there's all that identifiable information. But, like, it doesn't treat... What do I even get if I copy this? I don't even get an image. I don't know that it's the stuff. I think that it's just somehow not a reference to an image that they can access. Like, this is an internal file now that we can show for ISPs and all the other stuff, but the developer themselves can't get it. You can see here that the access is denied to that file, and because the ingestion is looking for a public file... Oh, this is so annoying. I gotta send an email about this today, too. Okay, so ISP file images on update. Okay. So the only way for me to make a change to my ISP right now, and this is super annoying, is that I'm going to have to go to S3, and I'm going to have to go find my images again. And I'm going to have to change those URLs out again for my images. So this is Scavenger Hunt here. And in here I have icons, and we have my... no, see, the thing is they swap it out and put it on their servers, create their own copy of it, so that you can't change your images later. Copy link address. This is going to be the large one. So I'll put my URLs back in there instead. And then the hint 108. That'll be my small image URL. Nope. So now I have my images in there, which is great. I have to do that for subscription too, because they're going to try and update this, and then this image won't work. This is a big bug that really needs to be fixed. Subscription. Did I call it subscription or subscribe? Subscribe. Okay, so those have been updated. So now I should be able to update my ISPs, and now we can just do ask deploy target ISP. So yeah, so the issue is they make a copy of my image and they put it on their own internal private server, and they update. Oh, I didn't save the hint. What's also annoying about this is that every time that I do this, it's going to replace it again. So we'll do it, and I'll just live with it, but I'm going to see if I can't get that fixed. So they make a copy of my image, they put it on their own internal private servers that are not accessible by the public internet, and then they update the reference. You can see that's already happened in my files. They update the reference to that image in my file. But now, if I try to deploy these ISPs again, it'll say, oh, I can't find that image. It's a little broken. And I am empowered to go fix that kind of stuff, so I'm going to send some emails a little later today. But that should update our ISP, which I don't even know if that was really the problem I was facing. But let's give it a try. I was pretty sure you could do ISP testing through the console, so let's see if I say hint. What? So now we have upsell was declined. So this is what I would expect if I say, hey, do you want to buy this thing? And the user says no. I'm getting frustrated. Why would that get kicked back to me automatically? Like the user said no. We're getting our user record, we're getting all the stuff that we need back. Does that mean... So this is the... I mean, this isn't even really the thing that I sent, right? Like... Let me start over. I gotta make sure that I get this right. Quit. Open scavenger hunt.
I've sent you a text message for the
Hint.
You currently have 0 hints available.
Let's see what you got here. Tree last. Looks pretty similar. I'll take it. Alright, connections.send request. Name is upsell. My payload. And that is my in-scale product. Does this look different than what I had? this is going to be hint dot. We'll check that in a moment. Let me make sure I get my quotes right. Upsell message. This is going to be upsell message. Hey Karthik, welcome man. We're just doing some ISPs over here. No big deal. That goes there. That goes there. I think that all looks good. So now I want to compare this newly formatted chunk to what we had before. Because it did feel a little different, but I don't know that it's different. That's what I had before. So let's take a look at what the difference is. Add directive, type connection, send request, name upsell, payload, in-skill product, product ID, hint should just be hint product ID, upsell message, guess, token equals correlation token, and then get response. So it's pretty much identical. I'm a little more explicit in this example. Yeah, I cleared out the hint 0. Thank you for that though, Trade Last. So this looks good. This is probably more explicit than I was before. Let's push that. Let's see what we get. Guys, I think this beard's going to have to come off. I really thought I would just grow this out until the whole quarantine and all that stuff was over. But it's really starting to bug me. It could also just be that my hair's too long and I just feel like everything's all up in my business, but it's pretty annoying. I also don't know how to maintain it or anything like that. Like, it's just out of control. And I don't know. Okay, Lambda. Lambda's updated. Let's go back here, try one more time and see if we get anything different. I don't think we're going to get anything different, but it's always worth a try. TradeLast made a good effort here to give me something to work with. So let's see what we get.
I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck.
Hint.
You currently have 0 hints available.
All of that looks perfect. But I bet if we look at our logs, this is when I send the request. What am I doing wrong? It should hit the... This is where I hit my hint intent. Right? So down here at the bottom, I have my hint intent. It's as I expected. I hit the hint intent handler. I go to my response builder and I build out this directive. And I even see that here. I have all my session data in there. That's awesome. Connections.send request upsell. I don't understand. What else could I be doing wrong? All of this looks great. I'm doing exactly this. I'm adding it to the directive, I'm getting the response, I'm returning it. I wonder if I don't need any of this. Like, if I know the... Karthik, I'm sending this in for ISPs, where I check to make sure that the product is actually offered. I'm doing all the responsible things, right? I call the monetization service client. I have the locale. I get a list of in-skill products for the user's locale. And then I actually check to make sure that that record, that the product that I want, called hint, actually exists. Then I upsell the user using this. And this is exactly the example in the docs. But all it's doing is saying my upsell message. It never actually does the upsell. So part of me feels like maybe there's something wrong with what I have in here. I don't want to update those URLs again. Getting very frustrated. Even if I look at my old code, right? If we go into the TKO trivia, find the word upsell. I'm doing exactly the same thing. I was expecting to spend all my time building these other handlers for when the connections response comes in and all that stuff. But I'm not even getting there. Alexa, open scavenger hunt. Alexa, give me a hint.
You currently have 0 hints available.
Yes. The check for product access function is async. I do the await right here. I think in this version here, let's find that upsell again. This is actually why I needed it, was for this call. So I don't know that it needs to be async, but I don't think that's hurting me. So I mean, I could definitely lose it here. This await is tied to this async. This, the await that I had in here, which I will need eventually, would have been tied to this. But I don't think that's the issue. Because I'm sending, like if we look at the CloudWatch for this, I'm actually sending, we get to the hint intent handler, I'm actually sending out this, right? Like, I'm sending out the directive. That's happening. And then I get a request envelope back that is a session-ended request somehow. The problem with this startup, and I would normally agree with that, is that there aren't any steps to check. Like, I am successfully sending out the directive that I expect to send out, and then the black box that I'm playing with isn't doing what I expect it to do. There's not a lot of debugging I can do on this. There's got to be something wrong with... There's got to be something wrong with what I'm sending. I just don't know what it is. I don't like just staring at the screen and beating my head. This all looks perfect. The token's useless. It's just if I need to check and make sure, like if I had a bunch of messages all happening at the same time, I'd want to make sure let's try being irresponsible for a moment. Let's go to my log here, and I know what the product ID is. I want to take some elements out of this. Let's take from here. To here out. And then we'll also get rid of this. So then instead of this hint product ID, which I don't have, I'll just put this value in here. Let's see if that changes anything. Maybe there's something happening there, but I don't know what it would be. I don't really need this line either. I'm not getting any errors. I'm sending out the response that I expect to send out. This should still do the same thing. I mean, it should. Okay. Let's give that a try. I've at least ripped some code out and made a change. Crazybone asks, could it be an issue with the ISP locale? I suppose it could be. But I've just eliminated that as an option too, so locale is no longer in play. I'm a little stumped here. If this doesn't help, I don't know what else I can try. Okay, code is pushed. Let's go here, quit the skill, open the skill. Hint.
You currently have 0 hints available.
That was supposed to be a moment of great success. You can see right here, I have connections.send request, upsell, payload. Everything that I need. If we look at the logs, we'll see the same thing. So I come into the skill, that's when I open the skill, then I come in here and I hit the hint intent handler, and I send this out. So let's try this. Instead of, I'll just do manual JSON. Submit. Session object of the skill. Oh, I gotta take the whole thing. Okay. It should ask me if I want to buy a hint. Yes. So that's my what is your answer. So what if I come back to the simulator and just say hint? Let's try this one more time. I'm going to try and get the whole JSON that we send on the right-hand side and see if that doesn't help us. So there's my audio. Then I say hint.
You currently have 0 hints available.
But this is the thing that I sent. So let's take that into manual JSON. Session object of the skill request body. Do you think that this is a SDK or a CLI issue? I wonder if I'm just running outdated software. Let's try this. Let's see what happens here. If I do, I'm going to quit this. I'm going to try a totally different skill. Open T.
This is TKO Trivia. If you thought Jeopardy was challenging, you're in for a treat. You haven't purchased the history category yet. Do you want to unlock it?
Do you see how this worked? You haven't. This is my upsell right here. Do you want to unlock it? Is it maybe just that I'm not saying? This might just be me being dumb.
You can unlock all of the history questions in TKO Trivia. Prime members save 20 cents.
I forgot that I have
Without
to do
Prime,
that.
your price is $1 plus tax.
Shut up. So instead of saying you currently have 0 hints available, would you like to get one? That's going to force me to say yes. This may have just been an issue with me not asking a question and not thinking that I need to say yes. I was waiting for the upsell to automatically happen. I think this is just me. I think this is me being dumb. And I've wasted 20 minutes of everybody's time because I'm not thinking. I'm not fresh. I need to get on top of my game here. So we'll push that code one more time and see if we get what we expect now. So let's try this. If I just go back and I quit. It does make me wonder, though, for somebody that's new to this, which it seems some of you are, maybe you've never built an ISP skill before.
Message for the first puzzle. Good luck. What is your answer?
It seems to me like, how would you guys have known this? How would someone that's never done this before know what they're supposed to do here? So I say hint.
You currently have 0 hints available. Would you like to get one?
And I say yes.
You can use 1 hint per weekly game. Would you like to know more? Prime members save 39 cents. Without Prime, your price is $1.99 plus tax. Would you like to buy it?
So there you go. I forgot the user has to say yes. And then they have to say yes. So the upsell is basically, hey, you want to know more? And I tell you more. And then I prompt you with, would you like to buy it? And then if they say yes, then they buy it. And if they say no, then it's a canceled situation. I'm angry. But we need like a celebration moment, like, yes, I got it! Like, we need those kind of clips. It won't be $1.99, but I don't want to update my ISP because then I have to do the image references again. So I will fix that, but I just haven't done it yet. Yeah, I forgot that, like, that's the... Well, the thing is if you were doing this new, you wouldn't have just, like, bullheaded your way into this. Or, I don't know, maybe you would have, but, like, you would have read these docs a little more thoroughly, and you would have thought about the fact that, like, there's a process to this, and we have a lot of good blog posts and diagrams and presentations and stuff on this. So you probably would have been willing to dive into that deeper because you don't know. But I was standing here thinking, no, I know this stuff back and forth. And then I was just making a dumb mistake. So thank you guys all for supporting me, though. It's very, very nice. So that part is working. What isn't working is when the user responds to this, I'm going to get that connections dot... what is it called? WK White, thank you. My team and I work very hard on that. We have a whole team of tech writers that are tech doc writers that are fantastic people that are oftentimes more knowledgeable about this stuff than even I am. But I'm glad to hear that the docs are working. So in here, this is all that I really need. But what I should do is back it up. Let's take this back to where we were. This should now be hint.product ID. And then this should be uncommented because I really should be checking this stuff to make sure that the user actually has access to the product. I don't want them to be able to try and buy something that isn't available in their locale or whatever. So we should put that in here. If the user, let's put it to do at the beginning. If the user is not able to buy this product, please find another option. Okay. So now we have our upsell message. We're sending our upsell. The next thing that we need to do, and I had that chunk of code kind of highlighted here, if we go to upsell, was this. And so this is a whole new handler for a new type of request that's going to come into our skill. Now this is very long. I don't think I'll need everything that's here. But this is the success case. So let's drop these down here somewhere, like before error. So what I'm doing in here is this is my successful purchase response handler, which we will have to add to our thing, but because it's very specific, I can do it like way down here. And I will, Lord of Sound, thank you for the yellow light. I will have to change some things about this. So the first thing, I'm going to get rid of this. Don't care. I'm checking to see, is it a connections.response, and is the name buy or upsell? I also want to make sure that the purchase result is accepted or that it's already purchased. Now, that won't happen for the hint, but it could happen for the subscription. If they were to say something like buy the subscription, there's a possibility that we would come back as already purchased. So that's good to have in there. In this case, let's go to my new format for handlers, which looks like this. And this will be successful purchase response. Now, in here we have our locale, we have our session attributes, we have the monetization service client, and we have our product ID, which comes directly in the request that we're making. So then we have to call this get in skill products thing again, because we don't want them to be accidentally buying products that they can't have. And we're going to say hint, and we're going to use the same find statement that we used before, because that will just make things easier. It's in the hint intent handler, which is somewhere. So we have a find statement that looks like this, and we just want to take this whole thing. Gosh, Jeff, honestly. Fat fingering the keyboard is the best. Okay, so that is my hint code, and then we're going to come down here to where I'm doing this. And we want to say hint is going to equal the product named hint, and this product should be available everywhere that products are sold. And then if product doesn't equal undefined, then what do I really want to do? I think I really care about a lot of this, but we'll start here. If the product isn't undefined, then what I want to do is increment their hint purchase by 1. I need to update the record in their database. So I have a place where I did this with the users. When they buy a hint, the hint count. So we're going to do the same thing. So let's go find that in the successful purchase handler. This is where I'm going to say if the product isn't undefined. So this is basically like what happens if the product is undefined. This is where I'm going to say I can update their record. So I can basically just take their current hint count and add 1 to it. And their hint count in the specific thing that we've been testing should be 0, but that doesn't mean that it is 0, because this could be a buy where they just say buy another hint. I'm also going to have other ways to give them hints, which is like a referral program. So if you get somebody else to try the game, then I'll give you a free hint for doing that. But that's stuff we can figure out later. But all I want to do is increment their hint count by 1. So this code right here should do it. I have everything that I need. See if there's anything else that I really need to do. And so they've purchased their hint. But what I really want to do is send them to the hint intent again. Is that what I want to do? If I just kick them to the hint intent, will that just work? Could I just say hint intent.handle and go? Let's try that. So in here, if I just after this say hint intent handler dot handle, handler input. Like so. I can get rid of all of this. And so here's how I think this will work. The user has 0 hints. They say, give me a hint. I say, you don't have any hints. Do you want to buy one? They say yes. They buy a hint. They come back here. I auto increment their database to add, because they've successfully purchased. So I've gotten the confirmation that they've made the purchase. I increment their database by 1, and then I kick them the hint intent handler again, where I'm going to say, okay, now you have 1 hint. Do you want to use it? Because I don't want to auto use it. I think that works. Let's save that and see how many bugs I've created for myself. Let's go Lambda. Time for some water. By the way, if you guys don't have water bottles, just like refillable ones in your house, I can't recommend these enough, man. These are awesome water bottles. I got my first one from Amazon for a sustainability campaign they were doing at one of the buildings. But these are made by a company called, I don't know if I can get that on screen. See if I can do that. Companion. It's like companion, but companion. And they're not cheap. I think they're like $8 or $9 each. But there was a point at which I just want to have water around, and I hate disposable bottles. So I bought like 10 of these, and I just keep them in the fridge, and there's always one available. It's an 18-ounce bottle, so it's a lot of water. But I really like these. By the way, I'm looking for sponsors, Companion, if you want to get on board. Okay, so that is my code. Now let's go run that and see what exactly will happen. So let's make sure that my hints are still 0, and they are. Lord of Sound, here's how I think I'm going to do it. Nobody knows their user ID at all. It's this big long string, right? This is a really good question, though, because I've thought this through a little bit. I just haven't solved it yet. So it's a crazy long string of characters. So what I'm going to do is let people know that we have a referral program, and if they want their friends to be able to play, and they want to get credit for that, all they need to do is... I haven't figured out exactly how it'll work, if it'll be voice-based or whatever, but I'm basically going to try and match... I can't seem to get to the end of that string. It just won't let me do it. I was going to take these 4 characters, 4 or 5, and I could do it with URLs, so if people want to share a link out, whatever, those 5 characters will be a person's identity, and I'll use that as a way. So somebody could say, hey, just use my referral code, it's OZPC, and that will be their referral code that they use. And then when I either ask them or they do it through a URL or whatever, like that will then automatically give that person a free hint. I'll just increment their database. But that's how I think I'm going to do it, because this is a good unique identifier. Why not use it as is? And I mean, there is always the possibility that these last 4 digits match someone else's, but I can set a rule and an alarm or something for myself to see if that ever happens. But we'll see. That's something I'm going to build in the future, but that's kind of how I'm thinking I'm going to do it, Lord of Sound. Also, startup, these are BPA free. Okay, so we were testing our skill to see if we get the workflow we were expecting. No, I'll probably do it through the skill too. I don't know how I'll do that, and I don't know how I'll manage that, and do I really want to prompt them, or how is that going to work? I haven't thought it through at all, but I think I want to do it through voice also, which is why I want something simple, like a couple of characters, nothing complicated. Open scavenger hunt. Give me a hint. Alexa, stop.
Intent request.
What did we do? MS is not defined. It looks like it's defined. Oh, I know where it's not defined, up here in the hint intent handler. I didn't uncomment this. Okay. Good. I don't get angry when it's a simple, easy fix. Those don't make me as mad as the ones like we were focused on a second ago, where I just could not get around it. But it was just me not asking a question. That's all. These are easy fix. Okay. Come on, Lambda function. Let's go. Now let's go to my browser. Let's quit. Open scavenger hunt. Hint.
You currently have 0 hints available. Would you like to get one?
Yes.
You can use 1 hint per weekly game. Would you like to know more? Prime members save 39 cents. Without Prime, your price is $1.99 plus tax. Would you like to buy it?
You can use 1 hint weekly per game. Is that what I did here for my upsell? Or is that in my ISP? You can use 1 hint weekly per game. Let's see what that messaging sounds like. You can use 1 hint weekly per game. Prime members save 39 cents without Prime your price. Would you like to buy it? I just don't need the question here. And again, we'll update that eventually. So I think this is working. So now I can just say, yes, I want to buy it. And it should ask me for my PIN.
Please say your 4-digit code to confirm the purchase.
And we'll put my 4-digit PIN in, and then we should be told that we have 1 hint. That's where it should go right now. What's happening?
Great. Your order is complete and I've emailed you a receipt.
Okay, Alexa.
Connections.response.
Okay, so we definitely got an error. Let's see what our error was. Because everything was moving so smoothly. Result is not defined on index line 516. How did that even become result? Do I use it again? I don't think I do. Okay. Okay, let's try one more time. Another thing you guys should all know, if when you're building skills within skill purchases like this, these ISPs, when you're in developer mode, you don't get charged for any of this stuff. So it goes through the process of pretending as if you've made a purchase, but you don't actually spend any money. So you don't have to worry about, like, how does this work? Or why did I get charged for that thing? Or whatever. That stuff doesn't happen. Okay, code has been updated. We're going to do one more run through of this. We have about 14 minutes left. I'd love to have a little success at the end of this. I feel like we're there. 44. That's perfect. Okay, so we've updated our code. Let's come back here, quit. Open scavenger hunt. How many hints do I have?
I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck. What is your answer?
Okay, so I currently have 0 hints. And so I want to be able to say hint.
You currently have 0 hints available. Would you like to get one? Puzzle hint is $1.99 plus tax. Would you like to buy it? Please say your 4-digit code to confirm the purchase. Great. Your order is complete and I've emailed you a receipt. There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Now what? So I got my request envelope. Down here at the bottom, we can see that it's a connections.response, upsell accepted. And so if I look at my code for that, we have, where did it go? We have connections.response, upsell accepted. Lord of Sound, I didn't decide to confirm purchases with a PIN. This is actually built into Alexa when you make purchases. So if you were to buy anything on the Alexa service, if you chose to turn a PIN on, that PIN is available for all purchases that you make with Alexa with your voice. And so that if I turn it off in the Alexa app, then it would stop asking me that. But that's a consumer choice, a part of my user account, and you can turn this on for yourself as well. But I'm not doing any PIN validation stuff for purchasing. That's just built into the Alexa app. So all of those cases are true. So I got my connections.response. Hint intent handler is just not sending back a response. Okay, well that's something that I guess I could have anticipated. So we're calling hint intent handler. Let's go there. And we're calling the handle. Is there anything in here? If hint count is greater than 0, and hint count is the session attributes, well, I don't think I update those. So what does our user record look like? My hint count is still 0. And that's because maybe my code isn't working? If we go to the update where we actually push the... Where is the thing I'm looking for? Right here. I'm setting their hint count to 1. So let's write out 2 values here. Console log. And this will be hint count. And this will be the what my session attributes thinks it is. I think this is my issue. This is exactly my issue. So the other thing that I need to do is actually add 1 to my hint count. And I think that's the issue that I was having, is that I didn't increment the value that I'm using inside the skill. So we'll see it on both sides. We should see it grow there by 1. I think that's the issue. I really want to write my own cloud log viewer someday just to save my eyes. I believe you can pull down the logs via the Ask AWS client, so it would be a regex festival. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I've done a decent job of navigating the CloudWatch stuff by tagging things appropriately, and like if you look at how this stuff works, right? I have these little arrows that I use to indicate like when I hit a handler, so I can see when those things happen. I have special context for when I use an error, just to make it easier to skim the page and find what I'm looking for. But I agree with you, Lord of Sound. It could be better for sure. Code is updated. Let's go to the browser. Try one more time. Because the thing I really want to see is this hint get incremented. So open scavenger hunt. Give me a hint.
You currently have 1 hint available. You can only use 1 per game. Are you sure you want to use a hint now?
I should have checked to make sure that didn't actually update it.
I've saved your hint for later. I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck! You currently have 0 hints available. Would you like to get one?
Yes.
Puzzle hint is $1.99 plus tax. Would you like to buy it?
Yes.
Please say your 4-digit code to confirm the purchase.
4444.
Great. Your order is complete and I've emailed you a receipt. There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Okay. What is the problem now? What is... Oftentimes I'll get a very nice error in here. Speechlet response was null. I don't think it was, though. I sent you this. So, did I not? Did I not send you that? What happened? So let's go look at my hints intent now. This is the issue we're having now. So if the hint count is greater than 0, which at this point it would be, I said you currently have this many hints available. Do you want to use a hint? And then I have my else case. And then I have this thing, and the response builder has those values in there. Okay, well, here's the good news in all of this, as we get ready to wrap up here today. My hint count is being incremented based on the purchase that I'm making. There's a bunch of other stuff we need to do yet. I need to allow the user to buy more than 1 hint, so they would have to have a buy intent, because I'm only going to upsell them when they're out of them. But if they wanted to buy an extra one just to have it, or maybe they have it a couple extra dollars right now or whatever, they could say buy a hint, which would have to be a different intent that takes them directly to a purchase, and that's also the place that they'll buy a subscription. I might also offer like a 5-pack of hints for cheaper or something like that. But this is working. The thing that's not working is how I respond to my user once... I don't know why it's not working. It seems like it should. But it's not responding after I've sold them the hint, after I've incremented their hint, and now I'm trying to ask them again, like, do you want to use their hint? So I'm going to have to figure out why it thinks it's not receiving this, because in the logs, it is. Oh, I wonder... Successful purchase response handler. Am I doing something funky in there that I shouldn't be? No, because I want a chain of returns. Oh, this is why. Return. This is the issue. I wasn't returning the result. Yeah, because it's a long chain of returns that I create for myself. So maybe we'll end on success here. Let me go back and set my hint to 0. It's always nice to end on a positive note. It makes you want to come back the next time. And by let you, I mean me. I'm always amazed that you guys stick around for these things. It's awesome. But, okay. Code has been updated. We'll do this one more time. Quit the skill. Open the scavenger hunt. Get a hint. Yes, I would like to get one.
Puzzle hint is $1.99 plus tax. Would you like to buy it?
Yes, I would like to buy it.
Please say your 4-digit...
There's my PIN.
Great. Your order is complete and I've emailed you a receipt. You currently have 1 hint available. You can only use 1 per game. Are you sure you want to use a hint now?
Yes. Oh, man.
Intent request.
Let's take a quick look at that before we wrap up. We got the thing we wanted to work, but I have a new bug when I use a hint now. Index 332. You're saying that I don't have anything in my session attributes for the game? I feel like I disagree with you. Oh my gosh. So here's the thing that we're also going to have to work on. I feel like this should happen automatically, though. So when you make a call out, Major Venom, thank you for being here. When you make a call out to the in-skill purchase stuff, right, and you make a purchase process, that goes out to the Alexa monetization service, and it's actually happening there. It's not happening in your skill. So when we come back to here, wherever that code was, where we capture the successful purchase response, the session attributes don't survive. Yeah, Lord of Sound, that's exactly right. And so, but the thing is that every time I load the skill, I don't save the game stuff. So in here, in my catch, where I catch the successful purchase response handler, do I want to make that call out? I know that that's the thing, and that's why I have all this persisted, Lord of Sound. It's easy for me to get. I just need to bring it back into the session, because I don't want to be making thousands of calls out to the database. But it feels to me like what I should do is just get this information when I'm getting the user stuff. I'll just do it here. Like I get user record, I'll just get the puzzle stuff when we load the game too. Because what I'm doing right now is I'm waiting. I'm waiting until you need a puzzle, which happens in the get puzzle function thing, give next puzzle. So this is where I actually call out and I get the game here. So let's just take those two lines. I think we can just fix this by taking those two lines, putting them down here. Doing this? No. Yeah, your session attributes don't get carried on, unfortunately, because you're going off to an entire other service. But I think that solves my problem universally. So let's find out, and then we will call it a day, as we are right at time. It's a lot of overhead to call for that puzzle, but I guess I'm doing it anyway. I can add that to the list. I feel like they specifically didn't want to do that. I fought this fight 2 years ago when ISPs first came out. I'll say persist session for ISP. It would certainly save me a database call. I'm with you on that. So one more time. We'll just do quick. We'll know instantly if this doesn't work, because if I open the scavenger hunt and it doesn't give me a puzzle, then it's broken. Yeah. So what's the error there? Response is not defined at give next puzzle, which is 127. Oh, just a log? I can get rid of that too then. Okay, let's go down to the bottom. We'll add this as a log just so we have it. And one more. You guys are going to find that, like, before I know it, it's going to be like 1 o'clock and I'm still rolling. But at some point I should probably end this. But I want to get this working. What? Is lambda down? What does that mean? Unknown user. Here, let me let you guys see this too. I was doing the same thing over and over and over. And now all of a sudden lambda.useast1.amazon. Is lambda down? Is my internet connection down? What's happening? Maybe my internet connection's gone. You guys are still seeing me, right? Thank you, TradeLast, for coming. I just got your message, so that seems like it's working. Gosh, what in the world? So maybe it was just an internet connection issue on my machine? Seems very unlikely that Lambda would be down. There we go. That's good. It was just my computer decided to have a hiccup for a second. My internet went down briefly. Maybe just on my laptop. I don't know. So we're updating my Lambda function now. That's a weird error message to tell me like that my host is I don't know. Okay. One more time. Quit. Open scavenger hunt. Please work. Okay, I got a puzzle. That's a good sign.
I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck.
Give me a hint.
You currently have 0 hints available.
Yes.
Which puzzle hint is $1.
Yes, I'd like to buy it.
Please say your 4-digit code to confirm.
4444.
Great. Your order is complete and I've emailed you a receipt. You currently have 1 hint available.
Yes, use it.
Here's your hint. We are looking for the 3 last names of Joe Exotic. I've sent you a text message for the first puzzle. Good luck. What is your answer?
There you have it, everybody. We did it. We were successful in selling the customer a product, letting them use it on their terms, and delivering that product to them, which is the hint, as necessary. We have a lot more work to do. What happens if they turn down a purchase? What happens if they, at any stage of the process, decide that they don't want to buy this thing? So this was super cool. I'm glad that we got this far today. We'll be back at it Friday, and we'll do a lot of those other conditions. So with that, thank you guys all for being here. It's always so fun to talk with all of you. We ended on a high note, and hopefully we'll continue from there on Friday.